What's up, everyone? Welcome to Antonio. I'm Tony, and today I'll be talking about growing up as a military kid. There's my dog. So, this topic would be like the pros and cons of growing up as a military kid because I have been a military kid for my whole life. My dad has served 20 years in the Army. He just retired, and I'll explain to you what it's like, and if y'all can relate, you know how it is. So basically, some of the how it feels to be a military kid. You sometimes you feel restricted in some ways because if you get in trouble, then your dad or your mom gets in trouble if they're in the army. Let's say if I get suspended, that can affect my dad at his job. That can like affect his rank as well. So like I always had to keep I had to keep it tight. But you know what I mean? Like I had to be concealed all the time and not mess up and not do anything stupid. And I think that really helped me out, like being the person I am now, because I'm not really like how guys are on the streets nowadays. Um hmm some of the pros of being a military kid is meeting a lot of people and being able to communicate and be more how can I say this? Well, like I've met so many friends my whole life. Um I moved so many times. That's the thing. Um, I moved. Well, I was born in Puerto Rico, and I'm I moved from Puerto Rico since I was like not even 1 years old. I moved to Germany when we were all sent over there. Then we moved to Texas. Then after Texas was Oklahoma. Then Oklahoma was Korea. I lived in Korea for 3 years. Um, then we went to Kentucky, and then Washington State, and then now we live in California. So that's where I've been, and the amount of friends I met, like I'm more of a how can I say this? What's the word I'm looking for? It's adaptable. I'm more adaptable to different types of people. I can make friends so easily, and I can accept people. Like when I was living on base and stuff, like I would make friends in like a day, and like we, like the group of my friends would be so many different ethnicities that it's like crazy. Like you don't see that in like most public schools because I lived in a public school when I was in Washington State, and it wasn't like because I mainly always lived in a base high school that wasn't like in base, so it was always small, and the reason I didn't really like high school on bases was they're so small that everyone knows each other, and I personally think that's a bad thing because everyone knows each other's business and there's so much drama and it's ridiculous. But like when you're in a big public high school, there's so many people and like not everyone knows each other, and so you can just be neutral, which I like to do. And when I see schools like when I was in Washington, I've um I've seen so many groups that are just by themselves. Like here's, not to sound like racist or anything, but here's the Hispanics, the African Americans, Caucasians, the like they're all tight together there. And like I that's actually one of the first times I've seen that because I mean, the friends I've made in high school in Washington was like, well, I'm not saying Washington only, like everywhere else, but because Washington was mainly where I've been in high school, but I'm just talking about public schools in general. So the friends I've made were all different ethnicities. Like I made friends with Caucasians, African Americans, Asians. Uh, Even I had a friend that was from that was Arabian, so that was kind of cool. And like also traveling. I've traveled so much, you already know, so I don't have to say that much. But like I've traveled all my life, and it's kind of tiring, to be honest. Because sometimes I just want to stay in one location, but like whenever I talk to people that stayed in one place their whole life, they're like, "No, I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to do this and that and that." And then I'm here just like, all right, because um, it's I'm so used to it, and like I know people don't aren't fortunate enough to see the world, but like I wish I had a hometown. I wish I had a certain team to support, like I don't know what my team is, like football team, baseball. I don't know what they are because I never grown up in a hometown, and I never have a place. Like whenever someone says where you're from, that's the hardest question to ask a military kid. It's like where was I originally born or the longest I've been, that's how it is. And so yeah, that's kind of a pro and con at the same time. And some of the cons I would have to say is the most is moving. I really hate moving because I made some of the bestest awesome friends in my whole life that I wish I never moved, and it was so sad to move. Sometimes I would actually cry from moving to a different place because of the amount of friends and good memories I had in a place like Korea, for instance. Korea was actually one of my favorite places to be because I don't know, it's just the feel and the vibe there. But like I was mainly on base all the time, but like there's so much more freedom, and like you could just do whatever, but not saying like like anything bad or anything, but like you know and like I was so sad when I left because I was like, man, I had so many awesome memories. I made the best friends. Like, how can I meet someone like that? And it sucks to move. Moving really sucks, and I don't understand how some of the friends I made, like they're also in the military, but like they've stayed in that place their whole life, and I'm like, how what? Because I'm always moving around, and it's kind of unfair sometimes, and I don't know. Trying to think of. I'm guessing is schools in general is kind of sucks for a military kid because the schools on base, the the problem I have is that they're so strict, so strict. Like I remember I had this teacher. Um, he was a health teacher, and this was in Kentucky, and he just took his job so serious that every time that class would end, like when we switch between classes, he'll go outside his classroom and just stand in the back like this, just like standing, just watching everyone. And we had uniforms, and so like if you had the wrong type of like shirt, you'll get sent to like the office and like call your parents and stuff like that. It's just so stupid. And like I'm not really complaining or anything, but like they act like a person not wearing a certain belt is like they take it so serious. It's like someone bringing a gun to school. That's how serious they get. And I don't know if you guys can relate, people watching this, because most of y'all probably you know, weren't as military kids. So maybe maybe you are, maybe you have family, like cousins or whatever. Um, so growing up, getting older, Hmm. Well, you become more. No, I don't want to say smart. You become more of aware of like your of what you're about to do. What I mean by that is like you get more. You think before you do, basically. You think more before you do because you know because like some kids in these high schools, man, they would freaking bring. I don't know why they would do this. They would bring like freaking knives, airsoft guns. Who does that? Also like marijuana. Who the hell brings marijuana to school? And like if you get caught doing that in like one of them high schools on base, you're through. Right, Charlie? You're through. And like so Charlie, you right? My dog is sick. Well, not really sick. Like I don't know what's been going on like ever since this morning. But anyway, you right, Charlie? Anyway, oh yeah, like if you get caught doing that with like, and your dad is also in the army, it's so bad for him, so bad. He could probably get deranked for that. From like, if I were to bring, let's say I were to bring drugs to school, right? And I get caught, you know, they would call my dad, my parents, and I would get expelled, probably, most likely, and my dad would probably get deranked for that. Oh man, that would be so bad. I can imagine. I don't, cause see, that's why I don't like understand these kids on like in public schools that just do that. You know, it's like, don't you have freaking knowledge of what you're doing? Don't you have like parents that actually like know what you're doing? Like, dude, stop that. It's not cool. But you know, not saying I'm against, you know, all that stuff, but like to school, really? Usually those people like just seek attention. If you have a friend or like if you know anyone that's in high school, that is, because I'm not in high school anymore, but like if you know a person that's in high school that just talks about, yeah man, I just smoked this, you know, they're just they're just doing that for the attention. You're just trying to be cool and trying to have a name, you know. So and it's not cool if you get caught, especially in high school. Anyway, off that topic. Um so yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, going to friends' houses, like, because sometimes you'll make friends off base. Like, sometimes I lived on base in other states, and I went to school off base. And, you mean, when you make friends, it's so, like, it's the struggle to, like, hang out with your friends sometimes. Um, always having to go off, and for them to come, like, visit you, you know. That's weird. And also, sometimes you just gotta, you know. Well, I'm not in the army anymore. Or my dad is not in the army anymore. So I'm not a military kid anymore. I'm a civilian, yeah. Well, I've always been a civilian, but I was a military kid, so. Not anymore. I'm not a kid anymore, so. Yeah, that was part of my life. I've experienced it for 18 years. I'm 18 years old, so yeah. I know how it is. And there's probably something that I missed. Maybe you guys could put in the comment section. But this video is almost 15 minutes, so yeah. That's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys later for the next video.